Welcome, everyone. There's plenty of room up here at the front, so we encourage you to come on forward, move up a bit so you can see the program a bit better.
The University of Calgary has achieved many major milestones over the past year due to the work and dedication of our students, faculty, and staff. Thank you all for all you do to make our university outstanding. Recognizing the land that we are gathered on today is an important step towards reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy and comprising of the Siksika, the Piikani, and the Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. The City of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3.
I would like to acknowledge some of our special guests that are here with us today. Our Chancellor, Deborah Yedlin, our President and Vice Chancellor, Elizabeth Cannon, who you'll be hearing from shortly. And also a warm welcome to members of the University of Calgary Board of Governors, Alumni Board Directors, Senate, and members of our senior leadership team. And thank you to all our students, faculty, and staff for joining us today. And to our extended university community joining us today by live stream. For your information, if there is an emergency during the event, please exit any door and follow the MacEwan Event Center or security staff out of the building to our assembly area.
If you haven't already, there will be time after the program to explore the community showcase. Visit each booth and learn about the services, events, and programs on campus and beyond. Get a passport and collect 4 stamps to enter to win an iPad Pro. We'll be serving sliders and fries afterwards, so please stick around.
And now, it's my pleasure to introduce our President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Elizabeth Cannon. As many of you know, Dr. Cannon will be completing her presidency at the end of December, and we'd like to thank her for her leadership to our university community over the past 8 years. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Elizabeth Cannon.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you out today. Thank you to all of our showcase participants. Lots of activity and lots of energy in the room, and particularly thank you, Sagar and Britt, for your leadership at the University of Calgary and being part of today's celebration. This is our annual community report, and really it's intended to thank you. Thank you for all of your dedication to making this university truly great. All of our students, our faculty, our staff, our alumni, and of course, our community leaders who volunteer their time, their passion into this university at a very important time in its history. It's also a time to celebrate, to reflect back on what's been another terrific year at the University of Calgary. So many successes, not only here on our campus, but being recognized around the world. So I want to spend a little bit of time of walking through what has transpired and a little bit of a look ahead to the future. But this ties back to our strategy, Eyes High. As many of you know, back in 2011 in this very room, we launched a bold, ambitious vision for the University of Calgary. We talked about being a global intellectual hub in Canada's most enterprising city. We talked about a student experience made rich by research, hands-on learning, and ensuring that that student experience was reflected in our community values. We also talked about our aspiration to be recognized as a top 5 research university in this great country. Well, we put out a vision and then we went to work. And back during our 50th anniversary year celebration, we refreshed our strategy to make sure we were still aligned and current. What did we do differently? Well, we integrated into that strategy a very strong commitment to entrepreneurial thinking. Really important for our university, really important to the city of Calgary. And we've made great strides, even in the last year and a half since the launch of the refresh strategy. We have 3 fundamental commitments in that strategy: research and scholarship, teaching and learning, and of course our commitment to our community. But integrated and woven through those commitments is a very strong prioritization around our student experience. That's why we're here. but also, and something that I think differentiates the University of Calgary from every other institution in this country, is a very clear, a very vocal, and I think a very tangible commitment to campus culture. That's what's going to allow us to really reach our goals in a unified way, in a way that values inclusion and diversity and mutual respect. So we set the template, and we've been to work, and now we're starting to see tremendous successes recognized by our community. Just today, the Times Higher Education THE World University Rankings are launched, and we are in the top 200 worldwide. Fantastic for a young university. Congratulations to everybody. That, mixed with the Center for World University Rankings, again, well within the top 200, shows how a young institution, one that is very focused, very strategic, can compete with the best in the world. But we're seeing recognition well beyond that. We have been named for a number of years as a top employer in Alberta, and for the second year in a row as a top diversity employer in Canada. On the sustainability front, again, through STARS, we're ranked #2 in Canada. This is our commitment to our operations, our administration, our teaching, our research programs, to be a leader in sustainability. We've also seen a commitment on the international front, again, winning a major award from a US-based organization. But let's turn back to our students. How many of us remember winning the National Men's Basketball Final U Sports in Halifax last spring? Congratulations to all of our dinos. They make us so proud because they work so hard on and off the field and the court. And we've seen that transpire to the global stage where we had 15 of our students and alumni competing at the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang this past winter. Fantastic. Now, when we talk about being top 5, it is about the stories, but we also have the metrics. We hold ourselves accountable, and I can tell you, when I'm in the community, talking to government, talking to influencers in the community and our alumni, they say, how do you know how you're doing on your path to top 5? And I say, well, we measure it and we report it. We have a number of metrics that we track, that we benchmark to the current top 5. We've refined those over the last year because we got input from our academic community and those around us of how we need to make sure that those are truly reflective of everything that we do. And of the 37 measures, we track 31 where we have benchmark data, and we are top 5 in about 16 of those measures. Again, for a young university and somewhat smaller institution to the top 5, that's an incredible achievement. So congratulations to everyone. Calgary was named the most innovative city in Canada this past year. The number of patents generated in this community was top in this country, exceeding even Waterloo, which we know is an innovation hub. How do we do that? Certainly the University of Calgary is a contributor. You look at the new inventions that have been launched from this campus since 2011-12, growing by almost 150%. You look at the publications by our tenure track faculty. You look at sponsored research funding since 2011-12, almost 50%, as well as our postdocs, again, growing by about 25%. That directly contributes to our research enterprise and our capacity, which is making a difference. This is how we are playing on the national and international stage. So I want to talk about our 3 foundational commitments, and I'm going to start with enriching the quality of education. This really speaks to how we serve our students. We take it very seriously. I talked about our commitment to student experience. What does that mean? Well, we measure that through the NESE student satisfaction, and I can say all of our staff and our academic leaders and our faculty are very committed to work with our students to make sure we hone our programs, that we are truly responsive, and we are seeing that reflected back year over year. We are gaining traction and getting positive support from our students. We've launched new teaching programs through the Taylor Institute for Teaching and Learning, and some of those certificate programs are aimed at our graduate students and our postdocs to help prepare them for an academic career. We are also trying to be responsive to our community, and you may have seen some of the challenges in Calgary about having enough tech talent so we can recruit the Amazons and other big companies and support the small and medium-sized companies that are here. We got an injection of funds from the provincial government to create and launch a new Masters of Software Engineering program in Schulich. I can tell you, since that was launched in about the third week of August, within about 5 minutes, we were getting inquiries of students wanting to sign up. Over 300 inquiries, over 160 took an assessment to see if they were qualified, 83 applicants, 60 in the program, funding for 40. So you can see the demand that is there for this type of program to help build a stronger Calgary. Mix that with new programs being launched in science in conjunction with the Haskayne School and the Cummings School, where we're looking at certificates and diplomas in data analytics. Again, mixing on the business analytics, the technical side, as well as in the bio side. This, again, is going to create a very rich learning environment and to pay dividends for our city. And I'm going to end on this with the Creative Destruction Lab Rockies. This is a fantastic program that was brought to Calgary through the Haskayne School. It's all about mentoring startups. And you think, why is a university doing that? It's a learning environment for our MBA students, but it's about ensuring that we are responsive to help support and grow companies. And we had 25 companies come through that program last year, 14 graduated. They raised almost $15 million in financing, and I can tell you, this is truly exciting and a huge growth opportunity for the University of Calgary. That ties into our commitment around entrepreneurial thinking. Last year, I announced the gift from the Hunters of $40 million. Well, over the last 12 months, we have put that to work. In November, we launched our pilot space just down the hall, 2,300 square feet. Please drop by if you haven't already. Lots of activity. Toolkit Tuesdays. We have drop-ins for advising for students who are thinking about an entrepreneurial activity. It's a collision space where you can get students from arts, meeting students from social work, business, engineering, you name it. This is truly becoming a movement at the University of Calgary. It is engaging our students, our faculty, our staff, our external community, and it's exciting because the more we do of this, the more we're preparing our graduates for a future here in the city of Calgary. We also announced in May of this year a very significant commitment from a business leader and a community leader, Ron Matheson. A beautiful story because Ron has, through his family, a deep connection to the Haskayne family. And for him to commit $20 million to help build Matheson Hall, which will be part of the Haskayne School of Business, I think speaks volumes of his confidence in our business school and what it's doing, but also the belief in giving back to ensure that education and the impact a business school can have around business ethics and leadership is a core part of what we need in this city. We have also seen, and you would have seen this last Friday and over the weekend, a truly transformational gift. It's just really exciting. 19,000 acres, 1,000 head of cattle, $44 million investment, the largest monetary value gift in terms of a ranch to any university in North America. This was Jack Anderson and his daughter Wynne Chisholm, who's a grad of U of Calgary, coming together and say, how can they help support our faculty of veterinary medicine? We didn't have a ranch or a site where we could have a research herd of cattle, where we could really look at the intersection of animal, human, and environmental health. That's what this is going to allow us to do. It is setting up a very young faculty of veterinary medicine, just 13 years old, already top 50 in the world, to do wonderful things, both in teaching and research. This past year, last November, we were in this room when we launched perhaps was one of the most important and certainly one of the most moving launches of a strategy we've had at this university. And that, of course, was our first Indigenous strategy, which we call Itapatope. This is important because as a university, as a place of higher learning, we must not just should, we must lead the way in addressing the recommendations from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. This is our responsibility. We take it seriously. There was 20 months of work by our leaders, by our students, by our staff, by our community, by our Indigenous community, with advice from our elders to ensure we're getting it right for the University of Calgary. Again, we're putting it into action. That's what the University of Calgary does. We brought Michael Hart on board as our first Vice Provost Indigenous Engagement, started in June, and I can tell you, he is working hard because there is much to be done. But it is so exciting to see. There's so much engagement and so much opportunity for University of Calgary to lead the way. In research and scholarship, this is important. We're a research university. We have seen, since 2011 and 12, our research funding grow from about $260 million a year to almost $420 million a year. I can tell you there is no other institution in this country that has seen that level of growth and investment. It speaks to the quality of our faculty, the quality of the students and postdocs. It speaks to the strategy, the research plan, and picking areas where we can have an impact, but supporting everyone in their scholarly activity. We have seen this year the first Killam Prize since 1991 going to our own Dr. Walter Herzog from kinesiology. Again, outstanding scholar doing wonderful work in biomechanics. When we compete through the CREATE program from NSERC, there were two grants given this year. Out of 18, 2 of them to the University of Calgary, each $1.6 million, going to people like Reid Ferber in kinesiology and Lena Katan in Schulich School of Engineering. And it's all about training our students to help prepare them for great careers in their fields. We've also seen a tremendous infusion of funds and investment in making sure our facilities are appropriate for teaching and research. We invested over the last 2 years $160 million, half of it from the federal government through their Strategic Investment Fund, into facilities like our clinical skills building for vet med, our high-density library, some of our field stations such as R.B. Miller and our Barrier Lake field station where we have our Biogeoscience Institute. This is important because this is where our scholars and our teaching, they're interfacing with our students and ensuring they're able and they're supported to do the type of work that's critical to them and critical to our province. We launched the International Microbiome Center, the IMC. You can see they're having a lot of fun. This is the largest germ-free facility, 10,000 square feet, of any university in the world. $30 million investment. Investments from the federal government, as well as donor funds and the University of Calgary, along with the province. This is critical. It's being led by the Snyder Institute in the Cummings School because it's going to allow our scholars to look at what impacts chronic disease from a microbiome perspective. Very timely, very important. We've brought in some of the key thought leaders in this area from around the world, and we have a platform not only to help address some of the issues, but create solutions, and particularly to commercialize and work with our industry partners. We also saw the launch of a new psychology clinic. Through the Faculty of Arts, we had 2 of our alum, one Schulich, one from psychology, Steve Lott and Lori Egger, donate $3.5 million to create a very unique clinic, both for teaching and research, but also to be able to provide mental health support to those in our community who do not have the resources to get access to this very much needed level of support. It is off to a fantastic start, and I can tell you it directly supports our campus mental health strategy as well as our brain and mental health research strategy. Our third foundational commitment is to our community. This is important. We want to have strong partnerships and strong linkages. We want to have a strong reputation. We actually measure that. We know, and we've tracked it over a number of years, that 72% of Canadians and 80% of Albertans would recommend the University of Calgary, and that's up significantly from where we started back in 2013. And for those who actually affiliate or have some relationship with us, it's 91%. So our reputation is growing day by day. We do this by connecting to our alumni, our 180,000 strong. Over the alumni weekend, our new alumni strategy was launched. It's called Wherever Life Takes You. And it's really built around ensuring volunteer engagement opportunities for alum. It's built around career development opportunities also for alum. We don't want to lose track of those who graduate from this university. We want them to always feel part of the University of Calgary family. We support our community in a number of ways. Our annual United Way campaign last year, over almost $640,000 to help invest in our city to make it great for everyone. Our Faculty of Law, it's a public interest law clinic, which is really advancing the well-being of the public and of our environment. And they've taken on a number of cases, including one for the Supreme Court of Canada. And on the lower right, you can see it was 450 strong from the University of Calgary marching in the Pride Parade. And I can tell you, as the president, to see the enthusiasm. When we talk about a great campus culture, when we talk about diversity inclusion, those are not just words. We walk the talk literally. And it's a fantastic day to celebrate all what we hold dear on our campus. We also partner with groups like Beakerhead, which was just last week, or with the Stampede, not just through VetMed and some of the work they do in animal care, but through the Faculty of Arts, telling the story of the Stampede, which is so important to the fabric of Calgary. And Idea Igniters, our relationship with the public library. Again, getting our scholars out into the community to have conversations, important conversations, that a research university should be leading. We don't do any of this alone. We depend, of course, on the wonderful talent we have on our campus. We depend on our government partners, but we've reached beyond, because if we truly want to stand out, if we truly want to take a major leap forward, we must create value-added opportunities. Those are often done with community investment, philanthropy. That's why we launched our Energize campaign on our 50th anniversary. $1.3 billion, third largest of any university in Canadian history. Very bold for a young university, I can tell you. But we're delivering because our community believes in us, they believe in you. They want to walk with us shoulder to shoulder to invest in our student experience, in our facilities, in bringing great scholars to our campus and also programs. So on our $1.3 billion journey, as of today, we are at $1.06 billion. Incredible. Congratulations. About half our donors are alum, and I have to say what's really special is we had our second giving day. And in 24 hours, almost $1 million raised, of which 40% was from our own faculty and staff. You are giving back to your university, and it's making a difference. Again, thank you so much for your contribution. So it's been a terrific year. In January of 2018, we launched our refreshed academic and research plans led by our Provost Drew Marshall and our VP Research Ed McCauley. They're the roadmaps to deliver on Eyes High. We're getting to work. You're going to see this fall the launch of our Office of Experiential Learning through the Taylor Institute. This is all, again, about adding to our student experience to increase the number of experiential learning opportunities for our students, internships, co-ops, practicums, and so on. You will see the continued advancement of our Indigenous strategy. As we speak, we are in a process to onboard emerging research themes. We have 6 priorities. We're looking at what is emerging, what are areas of strength in the university that we need to nurture for the future. And also, we have invested $5 million into our 4th round of postdocs through the Eyes High program. 50 new postdocs on our campus. This has set us apart and allowed us to significantly increase our research impact. You will see the campus continue to transform. The McKimmie complex well underway, where we will see new space for social work, allowing the also increase of nursing and student spaces, graduate studies. And after that is done, the tower next fall, you'll start to see the block transforming as well to increase student services and be the permanent home of the Hunter Hub for Entrepreneurial Thinking. We'll also see the Matheson Hall start to take shape in a new landscape master plan, again, done in conjunction with our internal stakeholders and also through a lens of our Indigenous strategy, which I think is so appropriate. You're going to see continued innovation in our ecosystem to help support a stronger Calgary. I talked about the Hunter Hub. I talked about the CDL. There's programming going on in every faculty. And we're going to have some wonderful announcements in that space this fall. We're also going to see continued advancement of our campaign. Again, we've got some exciting announcements to make through the fall. So we're not slowing down. As I've told a few people, I'm wearing high heels today, but by about November, you'll see me in runners running around campus. Still lots to be done because we have great momentum. We have great leadership across this institution. We have a huge commitment from everyone here and beyond to help us lead our Eyes High goals. That is why, as I start to look towards the end of my wonderful journey, it'll be 8.5 years as President and Vice Chancellor when I finish at the end of December, a huge sense of pride in everything that you've accomplished. It has been remarkable to see our reputation grow, to see the impact, to really see the belief that others have had in us and wanting to share and invest their time and energy to make sure that we truly are a great institution in Canada and certainly beyond. So I want to say, on behalf of really the wonderful experience I've had, it's been an honor and a privilege, thank you. Thank you to everything you've done. Stay committed, stay focused, still lots to do. But as part of my thank you, I want to really launch a video to give you a sense of what you have done over the last 8 years to make this university truly great. Your university, the University of Calgary. Thank you, and Eyes High.
In 2010, Calgary was recovering from a recession. It was a time of great optimism and growing civic pride. At the University of Calgary, 3-time UCalgary alumna, Dr. Elizabeth Cannon, was installed as our new president and vice chancellor, bringing new energy and vision.
The University of Calgary has invested much in me. In almost 30 years as a student, professor, and dean, and I am ready to invest all that I have into the future of this place, its people, and its potential. We have the talent, we have the community to back us, and together we will make this university the very best it can be, a university that stands amongst the best in the world.
President Cannon launched Project Next, a strategic planning effort informed by campus-wide public consultation.
The University of Calgary back in 2010 didn't have an institutional strategy that everybody could articulate, get behind, and that we could use to really carve the future path of this institution.
After months of engagement on campus and beyond, the Eyes High strategy was launched. The Eyes High strategy laid out 3 foundational commitments that reflect our core mandate. These commitments and the roadmaps that shape them have guided our journey ever since through 7 years of creativity, discovery, and innovation. We educate students to become community builders. We conduct research that changes the world. We serve as an intellectual, social, and cultural hub. Over 7 years, our campuses have undergone dramatic physical transformation. Through it all, we have embraced and shared in the special spirit that defines Calgary.
I've grown up at the University of Calgary, and to be in a position to serve the institution as a president has been a great honor and a great privilege. And through that, to be able to help shape and help lead and support a strategy such as Eyes High has been really exciting, because we've seen the university make great strides. We've seen our sense of pride increase. We've seen our reputation grow nationally and internationally. And we can point to some very tangible and very specific accomplishments of our students, of our faculty, our staff, and the impacts that those have had on our community that I think have really shaped who we are today.
Thank you so much, President Cannon. You're all invited to stay and visit the showcases at the back to learn about the services, events, and programs on campus and beyond. Remember to get your passport postcard from a volunteer, collect those 4 stamps, and then drop it in the prize drum to be entered to win that iPad Pro.
And last but not least, here comes a snack, so please grab a plate of food, and thank you everyone for coming to the Community Report.